The history of the separation of East Pakistan in 1971 cannot be told without looking in detail at the period of military rule that began in 1958. The people of East Pakistan were in a majority, and this fueled the anxieties of the West Pakistani elite, dominated by the military and the civil bureaucracy, to try and come up with solutions that would effectively nullify that majority. Bengalis were dead against Urdu-only language policy. They complained of being ruled by an unpopular and incompetent provincial government and were resentful of the free rein given to the West Pakistani bureaucrats who arrogantly lorded over them. The language policy was the original issue. Starting from Jinnah, Pakistani leaders insisted on having Urdu as the official language of Pakistan. The civil bureaucracy, meanwhile, had its own axe to grind. Contemptuous of all politicians, they were especially wary of a Bengali majority in any future federal constitution. If permitted to secure their rightful place in the government of the country, Bengali politicians could join their disaffected counterparts in the non-Punjabi provinces to force a change in Pakistan's Kashmir-focused and pro-American foreign policy. This seemed uncomfortably close to realization with the appearance of the Constituent Assembly's Basic Principles Committee report in late 1952. A scion of Nawab of Dhaka's aristocratic family, Nazmuddin was not popular amongst Bengalis who derided him as a servant of the West Pakistani centre. In January 1952, Nazmuddin told an audience in Dhaka that Urdu would have to be the official language of Pakistan. There were howls of protest by Awami League led by Hussain Shahid Sohrawardi and various student groups. Police fired on a protest rally called by the students on February 1952 in defiance of the ban on public meetings. 4 students died and several were injured. This sealed the fate of the East Bengal Muslim League. The day became etched in Bengali popular consciousness as Martyrs' Day, the ultimate symbol of their resistance to the West Pakistan-based central government. Meanwhile, Feroz Khan Noon, the Punjabi governor of East Pakistan, appealed to religious sentiments to convert Bengalis to Urdu. He suggested that Bengali be written in the Arabic script, though this idea had originally been mooted by Fazlur Rahman, the education minister and himself a Bengali, who thought that Bengali in the Arabic script would not only strengthen national unity and solidarity, but would cut off East Bengal from the West Bengal and put an end to disruptive activity in the name of common culture of the two Bengals. Even before the creation of Pakistan, there were doubts about the viability of a country separated by 1,000 miles with 2 wings that had nothing in common except adherence to the same religion. Eastern Bengal had formed no part of Muhammad Iqbal's conception of a Muslim homeland. The Lahore Resolution had spoken of more than one Muslim state in the northwestern and northeastern parts of the subcontinent. On the eve of partition, Jinnah himself had given his blessing to the idea of a united and independent Bengal, commenting that he was certain that it would be on good terms with Pakistan. Eastern Pakistan's separation was always something that Pakistan's first military ruler feared. Ayub's worst fears came true when the radical Bengali leader Maulana Bhashani, after sitting out the 1970 elections, upped the ante by calling for an independent and sovereign state of East Bengal as envisaged in the Muslim League's Lahore Resolution of March 1940. Mujib's 6 points, however, had only asked for maximum autonomy. It was on this agenda that Awami League won the elections in 1970, securing a near total victory in East Pakistan. It was evident that Mujib's 6 points were negotiable and he was not thinking of secession. His conception of a free Bengali nation was not incompatible with something less than a fully separate and sovereign state. If the military junta had seized this opening to negotiate the terms for a transfer of power with the newly elected representatives of the people, the course of Pakistani history would have been different. The military refused to do so. Mujib was even willing to take along West Pakistan in constitution making, telling Yahya Khan that I am a Democrat and the majority leader of all Pakistan. I cannot ignore the interests of West Pakistan. I am not only responsible to the people of East and West Pakistan, but also to world opinion. I shall do everything on democratic principles. In the midst of this, the famous Air India Fokker hijacking happened. Bhutto, whose PPP had won the largest number of seats in West Pakistan, rushed to the airport to greet the freedom fighters, but Mujib condemned the hijacking on principle. This earned Mujib the undying hostility of Punjabis and West Pakistanis. Meanwhile, using the fact that Pakistan had given asylum to the hijackers, India banned all interwing flights between West and East. At this juncture, the military picked Bhutto as their choice to counter the Awami League leader. Spurning Mujib's offer to help eject the military from the political arena was an error for which history cannot absolve Bhutto. Nevertheless, Bhutto was willing to accept many of the points posited by Mujib to keep Pakistan united. When push came to shove, he was prepared to accept all points except the one pertaining to foreign trade and aid. If these were adjusted in favor of the centre, the PPP was prepared to cooperate with the Awami League in formulating the constitution. Meanwhile, Yahya Khan pit the two main parties against each other. On February 28, 1971, Bhutto went on a verbal rampage and threatened to break the legs of anyone, whether from the PPP or any other West Pakistani party who attended the National Assembly session in Dhaka. Yahya used this as a pretext to refuse transfer of power. Significantly, though even in late March, just before the declaration of independence, the Awami League had given a proposal for a confederation of Pakistan, that is, separate constitutions for each wing and a constitution for the confederation itself. Bhutto too, in a way, endorsed this with his "Udhar tum, idhar hum" speech. However, the notion of a confederation was wholly alien to the thinking of military command in Pakistan. They started the operation against the Bengali population, where Dhaka University was stormed and there was indiscriminate killing of civilians and in particular Hindus and intellectuals. Meanwhile, India intervened and a full-fledged war saw the ignominious surrender by the Pakistan Army on December 16, 1971, ending the unity of Pakistan.